Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you hear us?
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Yes, Prabhu, you can start.
Okay, fine.
But I cannot hear. I don't know. Thank you, Prabhuji, for beautiful time and association. Please.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There is a. I came to today. We have a program in one family's house where we had Vasanta Panchami festival. The kirtan will get over in another 3-4 minutes. So in the meanwhile, at least we can do invocation and if the kirtan is too loud, probably I should. I don't know what can I do. Maybe I'll connect microphone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antelila, chapter 10, text number 53 onwards. Jagannath Deki Punani Jagare Aila Prashada Anana Bhakta Gane Kao Ivila. When Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence after visiting the temple of Jagannath, he asked for a large quantity of Lord Jagannath's prasadam, which he then distributed among his devotees so that they could eat sumptuously. Text 54. Ishtagoshti Sabalana Katakshana Kailam Nija Nija Purva Vashaya Sabaya Patailam. After talking with all the devotees for some time, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to occupy the individual residences in which they had lived the previous year. Govinda Tani Raghava Jali Samarpilam Bojana Grihe Rakone Jali Govinda Rakhilam. Raghava Pandita delivered the bags of eatables to Govinda, who kept them in a corner of the dining room. Text 56. Purva Vatsarera Jhali Ajada Kariya Dravya Paribare Rake Anya Grihe Lainam. Govinda thoroughly emptied the bags from the previous year and kept them in another room to fill them with other goods. Aradina Mahaprabhu Nija Ganalana Jagannatha Deki Lena Sayotane Yanam. The next day, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went with his personal devotees to see Lord Jagannath when Lord Jagannath arose early in the morning. Veda Sankirtana Tahan Arambha Karilam Shata Sampradaya Tabe Gaite Lagilam. After seeing Lord Jagannath, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his all-encompassing Sankirtana. He formed 7 groups which then began to chant. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. For an explanation of Veda Sankirtana, one may refer to Madhya Lila, chapter 11, verses 215 to 238. Text 59. शात संप्रदाये नृत्य करे शात जना Advaitacharya Prabhu Nityananda. In each of the 7 groups was a principal dancer such as Advaitacharya or Lord Nityananda. Vakreshwara Achyutananda Pandita Srivasa Satyaraja Kana Ara Nara Haridasa. The dancers in the other groups were Vakreshwara Pandita, Achyutananda, Pandita Srivas, Satyaraj Khan and Nara Haridas. शात संप्रदाये प्रभु करेण ब्रह्मणा मोर संप्रदाये प्रभु ऐचा सभारमना. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked from one group to another, inspecting them, the men in each group thought, the Lord is within our group. Sankirtana kolahale akaksha bhedilam sabha jagannatavasi dhekite ailam. The congregational chanting made a tumultuous roar that filled the sky. All the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri came to see the Kirtana. Raja Shi Dhure Deke Nijak Ganalanam Raja Patni Sabha Deke Athali Chadiya. Accompanied by his personal staff, the king also came there and watched from a distance, and all the queens watched from the elevated parts of the palace. Kirtana atone prithvi kare tala mala Haridvani kare loka haila kolahalam. Due to the forceful vibration of Kirtana, the entire world began trembling. When everyone chanted the holy name, they made a tumultuous sound. Yehi matakatakshana karaila Kirtana apane nachite tabe prabhura haila mana. In this way, the Lord had congregational chanting performed for some time, and then he himself desired to dance. Shata dike shata sampradaya gaya bhajaya madhye maha prema vase nache gauraraya. The 7 groups began chanting and beating their drums in 7 directions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began dancing in the center in great ecstatic love. Udiyapada Mahaprabhu Mane Smriti Haila Swaruper Sei Pada Gaite Agnya Dhila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered a line in the Orisian language and ordered Swarup Damodara to sing it. Text 68. Jagan Mohana Pari Munda Yau. Let my head fall at the feet of Jagannatha in the Kirtan hall known as Jagamohana. Yei Pade Nritya Karena Parama Aveshe Saba Loka Chaudike Prabhura Prema Jale Bhase. Simply because of this line, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in greatly ecstatic love. People all around him floated in the water of his tears. Bol bol balena Prabhu Shri Bahu Tuliya Hari Dhvani Kare Loka Anande Bashiya. Raising his 2 arms, the Lord said, chant, chant, floating in transcendental bliss. The people responded by chanting the holy name of Hari. Text 71. Prabhu Padi Murchayaya Swasa Nahiyara Achambite Ute Prabhu Kariya Hunkara. The Lord fell to the ground unconscious, not even breathing. Then suddenly he stood up, making a loud sound. Text 72. Sagana Phulaka Ena Simulera Taru Kabu Prafulita Anga Kabu Haya Saru. The hairs on his body constantly stood up like thorns on Chilola tree. Sometimes his body was swollen and sometimes lean and thin. Text 73. Prati Roma Kupe Haya Prasveda Rakto Gama Jaga Gaga Pari Mumu Gadgada Vachana. He bled and perspired from every pore of his body. His voice faltered. Unable to say the line properly, he uttered only Jaja Gaga Pari Mumu. Ek danta yena pratak pratak nade aicha nade dhanta ena bhumi kaise pade. All his teeth shook as if each was separate from others. Indeed, they seemed about to fall to the ground. Kshane kshane bade prabhura ananda avesha tritya prahara haila nritya nahe sesha. His transcendental bliss increased at every moment. Therefore, even by mid-afternoon, the dancing had not ended. Sabha lokera uttalila ananda sagara sabha loka pasharila deha atma ghara. Translation: the ocean of transcendental bliss overflowed and everyone present forgot his body, mind and home. Tabbe Nityananda Prabhu Shrijila Upaya Krame Krame Kirtaniya Rakila Sabhaya. Then Nityananda found a way to end the Kirtana. He gradually stopped all the chanters. Swarupera Sange Matra Eka Sampradaya Swarupera Sange Sehamanda Swaragaya. Thus only one group continued chanting with Swarup Damodara and they chanted very softly. Kola hala nahi prabhura kichu bhaya aila tabe Nityananda sabhara shrama janaila. When there was no longer a tumultuous sound, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to external consciousness. Then Nityananda Prabhu informed him of the fatigue of the chanters and dancers. Bhakta Shrama Jhani Kaila Kirtana Samapana Sambalana Ashi Kaila Samudra Snapana. Understanding the fatigue of the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the congregational chanting. Then he bathed in the sea, accompanied by them all. Sabalana Prabhu Kaila Prashada Bojana Sabare Vidya Dhila Karita Shayanam. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took prasadam with all of them and then asked them to return to their dwellings and take rest. So we will discuss from text number 53 till text 81 because after 82, next set of activities are, beginning. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshunun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Prabhu.
It is always a pleasure to be with you all. It's always a wonderful time to discuss about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories in the association of wonderful devotees. So the context that we are in, of course, in India today is Vasanta Panchami Day. I'm not sure if it is over for you all or it's tomorrow or today. So the context that we are in is actually Raghava Pandita, in whose house Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu took prasadam after Panihati Chiddadahi festival. So in whose house Raghunath Das Goswami, personally did service and took the blessings of Nityananda Prabhu on his forehead. So that Raghava Pandita was planning to come to Jagannath Puri. The entire family of Raghava Pandita is so attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they had sent wonderful preparations for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not one, not two, several potlis, several pockets, several preparations. Raghava Pandita, his sister, they made so many wonderful preparations. And it was brought in not by just one person. There was some group of people who were made responsible for eat joli, jali, Raghavera jali. And that's what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explained. So all these packets of prasadam, each packet, one person was responsible, and collectively they were put together, and one person was monitoring to make sure where they were supposed to be, kept and how they are supposed to be carried. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes in to explain details of some of the preparation. He said that I'm not able to list all the preparation. At least, we are hearing close to 40 plus shlokas describing about close to 100 plus preparations. Each of the shloka, he talks about 1 or 2 or 3 preparations. So put together at least 100 preparations of what they had prepared for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been listed. And he also says that this is not all, etc. There are many more. So the love they had for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, simply wonderful, unlimited. It is the same way how the inhabitants of Vrindavana, they had love for Supreme Lord Krishna. Of course, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in this planet, not everyone could appreciate, understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hid himself from several of his, from the general public, and even to several of his followers. Only very few confidential associates knew who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually was. So from that standpoint, we are very fortunate by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, by the blessings of all the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, we are able to know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is as soon as we got associated with Srila Prabhupada's Sankirtan mission. And not only we got to know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, we are also engaged and involved in the activities and pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is still going on. And not only that, we got to know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, and we also get to participate. We are also bestowed with a responsibility to spread this Sankirtan mission to the generations to come, so that we have some opportunity to show our indebtedness to this parampara. So we have an added advantage by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, by being some follower, even by a dint of our own endeavor, we wouldn't have been able to manage to reach this place. Somehow, by some Agyata Sukriti, we are blessed to be in the association of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON movement, Srila Prabhupada's Sankirtan movement, that we are able to know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. We are able to participate in a Sankirtan mission, and we are also, as a matter of duty and showing our gratitude, are bestowed with the service of spreading the Sankirtan mission. So, Mahaprabhu, after receiving all the devotees, he is exhibiting the main purpose for which he is, appeared. So from Shloka 53 till 81, whatever we discussed, whatever we read, is about Mahaprabhu's unique pastime of going in ecstatic mood when Sankirtan is going on. So we are going to churn this in our best possible way and to appreciate the Sankirtan mission that we are part of. We will, as usual, learn these things from some set of reflections. So these reflections generally help us to recollect what we learned, what we heard. In Kali Yuga, we are not so much blessed with remembrance. We tend to forget. That happens to be the blessings of some regular speakers. So even if you repeat the same points again and again, sometimes we think that I'm hearing this for the first time. Or even if we know that these points we have discussed before, sometimes by hearing it again, we are reinforced. Even if we are reinforced and know it for sure, when we hear it again and again, we get to enjoy and get into a very ecstatic mood when certain deep emotions are expressed in our Vaishnava Acharya traditions. So Srila Prabhupada was in Hyderabad, and in Hyderabad, Srila Prabhupada installed Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji deities. This I am talking about in 1974 or sometime during that time. So Srila Prabhupada established this Radha Madan Mohan temple there. In those days, we never had some qualified pandits in ISKCON. People were still learning and still, getting to their mood. So Srila Prabhupada invited some Sri Vaishnava pujaris to perform the Pratishta ceremony, installation ceremony. When this installation ceremony was going on, it went on for 3-4 days. And after the 4th day, when the festival got over, or the ceremony, the installation procedures got over, before they were going to serve Prashadam. So Aarti, Maha Aarti was going to start. And if I'm right, Vishnujana Maharaj or somebody who was there, who started to lead the Kirtan. And the mood was so upbeat that everybody who were there in the assembly, who started to chant, and slowly the tempo started to pick up. And they were not just chanting, they were started to dance. And when the tempo further picked up and the mood further picked up, they were not just chanting and dancing, they were jumping. And it went so much so to the extent that all the Sri Vaishnava Pandits who came to perform the Pratishta ceremony, they got so ecstatic that they also started to jump and dance in the Kirtan. In generally Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they are very much into Dasya Bhav, and they are not so much used in general to such a symptom of expression of love. But they couldn't control themselves when the Kirtan was going on. So they started to dance and dance and dance. And Prabhupada was looking at this and made a comment saying, this is the essence. So the essence of our Krishna consciousness is dancing in the Sankirtan and feeling ecstatic about it. Prabhupada, in his recording, if you have heard this famous recording of Srila Prabhupada, where Srila Prabhupada talks about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's a famous 5-minute clip, audio clip, wherein he says, even a dog can take part in this chanting, even a hog, even a child, even any simple creature can take part in the Sankirtan mission because it is our constitutional, connect. So my first reflection, hence, is about that after doing all sorts of bhakti, after doing all sorts of devotional service, the essence is in dancing in front of the Lord and relinquishing all our quotient. Sarva upadi vinir muktam tat paratyena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesa sevanam bhakti ruchyate. The point here is, when someone is dancing in front of the Lord, if someone is dancing in the kirtan, initially he may be feeling inhibition. Initially he may be feeling shy. Initially he may be feeling that this is not something that I'm, used to. But then, moment he got into it, either by somebody's push or somebody's request, or just by on your own, if you got into it, then you can't stop it. We just read the narration that it was not only Mahaprabhu who was dancing for hours together. Along with Mahaprabhu, all his associates danced and danced and danced and danced to an extent that Nityananda Prabhu had to worry about their being tired. Had Nityananda Prabhu not slowed it down, probably they would have given up their body just by dancing in the kirtan, but would have never felt the pain of the body, getting external, being fatigued. So the essence of our Krishna consciousness, because many times we would be very comfortable in chanting the name of the Lord. Many times we would be very comfortable in reciting the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Many times we would be comfortable in taking darshan, going to dham, honoring prasadam, even to an extent speaking about the Lord. Because in all of those services, either directly or indirectly, our ego and some intellectual quotients are still noticed by us or by somebody else. We are appreciated, we are followed, we are looked upon. There is something about us during those processes. I'm not saying they are bad, they're good, they're great, they're glorious. But even to do that is difficult, I agree. But even if somebody tries to do that, somewhere or other, some center of focus may still be hanging around the individual. For a Kanishta, for a practitioner, I'm saying. But the moment we start to shake our legs to the kirtan and start to dance, within 5 to 7 minutes of us in dancing in the kirtan, probably all the inhibitions are lost. I'm not sure how much you all have experienced this. I'm sure you all would have, but it's by our personal experience. This is called Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So the reason Srila Prabhupada stated that this is an essence is because the essence of Krishna consciousness is to relinquish our I, me, mine attitude. The essence of Krishna consciousness is to relinquish our bodily attachment, because the essence of Krishna consciousness is to relinquish every possible upadhi around us. And the essence of Krishna consciousness is around being a complete dedicated servant. And trust me, devotees, all of these things happens when we dance in the kirtan. The converse is, if somebody is having inhibition in dancing in the kirtan, at least it's a very good indication, unless otherwise you have some knee problem or health issues. If somebody is not dancing in the kirtan, please let you know yourself that we have certain anchors, some quotient, which are still holding on to us, holding back, which is not letting us to completely surrender. Watch out. Hence, the Sankirtan mission, raising the hands up and dancing in the Sankirtan, is the essence of our Krishna consciousness. That is why the Sankirtan mission means coming together, forgetting about our bodily attachments, forgetting about our external quotients, forgetting about who we are, what we are, how we are. Simply surrender to Krishna. That's an instant surrender. At least for that moment, for those moments when we are chanting and dancing in the Sankirtan, our real constitutional nature is at least triggered. At least we get a symptom of it. At least we get a glimpse of what it is like to feel that we are servants of Krishna. In fact, I would say the moment Narada Muni experienced the darshan of Paramatma when he was the son of the maid servant, when he had the association of Paramahamsas, when he had the remnants of this self-realized soul, he somehow developed some sincere devotional sentiment, and that Paramatma's darshan that he got, that is the kind of effect we get when we dance in the kirtan. And the remaining amount of the time, it is about how Narada Muni, as a son of the maid servant in his previous life, led his life, remembering those happy moments, remembering those darshan that he had of Paramatma. He is continuing to lead the rest of his life to become Narada Muni in his next life. So similarly, each and every one of us, whilst we are locked down at our houses because of this COVID, because of our various reasons, we are not able to dance on the kirtan. I'm sure each and every one of you, whenever the moment you would get to come together, won't you feel to dance and jump in front of the Lord and regain, re-reflect, re-remember, relive those transcendental moments? And those are not fake, those are real ones. Even though it is for a momentary period in time, those are the real ones. So my first reflection hence is how the Sankirtan mission, how this Harinam Sankirtan is the essence of this Kali Yuga. This Harinam Sankirtan is the essence of our Krishna consciousness process. And this Harinam Sankirtan is a hope for us to revive back our lost glory. So this is my first reflection. The second reflection is about the way in which Mahaprabhu conducted the Sankirtan and conducted himself into that. So we as practitioners in Krishna consciousness sometimes don't know or don't want to know or not so serious about certain service aspect. I would like to recollect in my early days, I'm talking about somewhere during 1994, 1995. We all had gone for a retreat or some camp, youth camp. I used to play Mridanga and I was the organizer for the festival or the event. So I had a lot of, this coordination going on, and so many things are going on. So I was given the responsibility of even playing the Mridanga because Kirtan was going to start. So as I was playing Mridanga, I was also giving, looking at, checking out things and talking to different devotees here and there. And one of my spiritual mentors, he told me that you are now doing a very important service. So it is important that full and focused attention needs to be given to the service. So if we need to draw some lessons, this did not happen once. This happened close to 3 or 4 times, where the same set of instruction from 4 different sources, I was told that Sankirtan is not kind of a musical arrangement. Sankirtan is a time where we are supposed to go beyond our body, mind, and various external quotient and try to strike the chord with our Paramatma, with our Supreme Lord. Hence, utmost care needs to be taken in performing Sankirtan. And this is just not about music. It's just not about arrangements and skills. It's about the sincerity and the involvement with enthusiasm that matters in our performance. So the point is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not haphazardly just did his kirtan. If you had read that portion that Srila Prabhupada is asking us to read in Madhya Leela to describe about what is this Veda Sankirtana, this every time when Rath Yatra used to happen, or every time when Mahaprabhu organized Sankirtan Andolan, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very particular in making sure, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very keen in making sure that things are organized, conducted in a very meticulous manner. Whether it is the Andolan, the procession that Mahaprabhu started from Srivas Thakur's house to Chandkasi's palace, or whether it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu organizing Sankirtan in front of the Rath Yatra cart, whether it is Mahaprabhu's just this particular aspect that, part of Lila that we just read, Mahaprabhu always formed different parties. He made sure that proper singers who give respect, who can do the service in the best possible manner, are performing the service so that everybody can draw themselves into the Sankirtan mission. So my second reflection is, while Sankirtan is the essence to deliver to all the others, some endeavor needs to be done by the responsible practitioner. I know it is an essence. I have understood, learned, heard about the essence of this Krishna consciousness process. But for me to make others feel, for me to make sure everyone appreciates, for us to win more and more souls to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, we need to go past the formality and make sure that we conduct and perform things in a very meticulous, planned, and perfect manner. Whilst for sure, what draws us to devotion is only the attitude and loving emotions. But what draws, or what is important in a preaching mission is also in terms of presentation and representation. So if our presentation and representation are not correct, then we will definitely misguide. We may definitely confuse the people. So you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the acharyas, they had given utmost importance in terms of presentation and representation. At the same time, they never bothered about their own adhikar or their own identity to be, gloriously notified. I'll give you 3 episodes. Number 1, it is in Mayapur Dham. Srila Prabhupada was living in this Bhajan Kutir. So Srila Prabhupada called in for a meeting saying that we have to build a very beautiful, wonderful temple for Shri Shri Radha Madhava. Because this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Janmasthana, place where Mahaprabhu appeared. So it is our duty to make sure that the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be spread all over the world. So people should come more and more from all parts of the world to come here. So we need to construct a temple in a manner by which everyone is attracted. Having said that, he made a very interesting point. He said that I am very satisfied, very happy in this Bhajan Kutir. But I will not be able to attract general public to this Bhajan Kutir. General masses to this Bhajan Kutir. So hence we should make a beautiful temple. So Prabhupada clarified his mood, his intention, but he made sure his presentation and representation to win more and more souls are proper. Second episode. When Srila Prabhupada had been to Bhubaneswar, when he went to Bhubaneswar, it was on a program organized by some life members. So they had arranged for a very wonderful guest house, very 5-star arrangement for Srila Prabhupada to stay. They had arranged this guest house for Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada went in to Bhubaneswar. Around the same time, ISKCON were blessed, given with some piece of land. The current place where ISKCON Bhubaneswar is there, that was given to ISKCON in those days. And our dearmost Gaur Govinda Maharaj was taking care of that land and developing that project. And those days, that was like a jungle, like a deserted place that no habitats were close by. So Gaur Govinda Maharaj had actually put in a small hut and was doing his preaching and bhajana and slowly developing that place, developing the temple. Whilst Srila Prabhupada was given 5 stars, arrangement, Srila Prabhupada chose to go and live with Gaur Govinda Maharaj. And it is said, if you have the book, When Good Fortune Arises by the disciples of Gaur Govinda Maharaj, who have compiled different anecdotes from Gaur Govinda Maharaj's life. So they have mentioned how Srila Prabhupada and Gaur Govinda Maharaj had 3 nights, 4 days or 3 days, 3 nights, wonderful personal moment of discussing very confidential and detailed Krishna Katha. The reason I was trying to say here is that Srila Prabhupada, with respect to preaching, with respect to representation, he made sure that he represented and presented Krishna consciousness in the best possible elite manner. But when it comes to his own personal practices and choices and consciousness, he chose to be. So when everybody asked Srila Prabhupada, why are you not choosing to go and live in the 5-star guest house, rather you're choosing to be in this place? Srila Prabhupada said that the stay with Gaur Govinda is 5-star for me, and what that wonderful arrangement going to give me in the 5-star, I would get much more than in my disciples, because he is trying to develop and preach and win more and more souls to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is 5-star. So my second reflection hence is about presentation and representation in Krishna consciousness. At the heart of heart, we need to be humble, simple, and have to have only sincere sentiments for Krishna consciousness. But when it comes to the preaching, when it comes to winning more and more souls to the lotus feet of Krishna, we need to be careful on how are we presenting ourselves and how are we representing ourselves. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he very clearly exhibited this in his Leela. Not only just in organizing the Kirtan, in every aspect of it, in terms of taking care of the guest, in terms of giving them accommodation, taking care of them, massaging their feet, feeding them, respecting them, glorifying them, making sure his disciples are appreciated, making sure they are taken care very nicely. Very, very nice. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mood. So hence, presentation. How are we presenting the philosophy and how are we representing the philosophy defines who we are in Krishna consciousness. Are we in to win more souls to Krishna and win ourselves to Krishna, or are we here to just use Krishna for our own personal agenda? The last aspect of it is about Nityananda Prabhu's gesture, Nityananda Prabhu's strategy of how he was caring about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is very wonderful that we will see in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Leela, that not only here, there are several occasions we had seen in Chaitanya Charitamrita where the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were constantly worrying about how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to be taken care. Right from Sachi Mata till the last part of Mahaprabhu's Leela, we will see that all those who were with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were not necessarily to be told that how they are supposed to take care of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was ingrained in their consciousness, ingrained in their thinking that Mahaprabhu needs to be taken care. Because, and it is not that they were interested in taking care of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just as a formality, just as a, as a duty. It's just not duty. It's love. So the way they did is, you will see in Nityananda Prabhu, you will see in Swarup Damodar Goswami, you will see in every other associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherein they made sure that Mahaprabhu's emotions, mood, and his attachment towards Jagannath is not disturbed. At the same time, he is slowly brought back to some sort of a settlement. Here, we see how Nityananda Prabhu is very nicely, bringing in that mood, bringing in that change in the scenario. Because whilst Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but the situation was so intense that Mahaprabhu was bleeding, Mahaprabhu was perspiring, Mahaprabhu was already fatigued. I mean, at least from the normal man's viewpoint. And along with Mahaprabhu, there were so many other people who were also dancing. There were so many other people who were also singing. There were so many other people who were also, enjoying their moments with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu was concerned about them as well. So the third aspect of our today's lesson is about the care both for Krishna as well as for devotees. The intent is, who are we to care for Krishna? Krishna is the one who is caring for us. We Vaishnavas are the one who are, directly under the care of the Supreme Lord. So what is that from our side to care for them? The response here is, by our anxiety, by our, restlessness about how Krishna is going to eat, how Krishna is going to sleep, how Krishna is going to be taken care. The anxiety is a symptom of love, and hence that anxiety is appreciated. When two sannyasis from Africa, they came to meet Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur Dham, along with $50,000 from book distribution. They gave to Srila Prabhupada and they just stayed there. So Srila Prabhupada then was very happy, blessed them. And they said that Srila Prabhupada, our GBC Brahmananda Prabhu had asked you a loan of $50,000 for the temple construction and preaching. Will you please give us $50,000 loan? Srila Prabhupada said, no, I won't. And I don't have money. Those two devotees, they said, but Srila Prabhupada, he just gave you that, $50,000 from book distribution. So, and that is the same yatra from where I'm coming and where we need funds. Srila Prabhupada said, no, I will not give this money. Then he made a statement. He said, our Gurudev, Om Vishnupad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, used to always say that, or used to always put us in an anxious state and state that the Guru puts his disciple in anxiety so that the disciple doesn't get into the shoes of laziness and develop anxiety to fulfill the orders of the spiritual master. So my third reflection is about in our devotee care, in our devotional care agenda, it is not that we are the caretaker. It is not that we are giving anything to anyone. But by we exhibiting some anxiety about their care, our devotional creeper is cared for. Dasturi loibami purna habe kama. In the song Boroshuker Kaburgai, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing that you just bring in one soul. You just bring in Jati Nama Kinbe Bai, Jati Nama Kinbe Bai. Amar Sange Chalo Mahajaner Kache Jai. You just bring in one soul. You just bring them. You just bring them closer to the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. Bring them to Namahata. Bring them to Surabhi Kunj. Don't think that you are caring for them. By you bringing them, you will be cared. Dasturi lo ibo ami purna habekam. Kodanitai, kodanitai. So the message here is that many times we think, oh, I'm going for a satsang program so that, I can sing, I can talk, I can, do certain things. We are not the center of focus there. Even though it may apparently appear. The message that I want to drive home here is Nityananda Prabhu and as well as Mahaprabhu, by the way, they have taken care of each other. The Lord taking care of his devotees and associates taking care of the Lord. So wonderful that the loving devotions, the loving sentiments between both the parties is very highly enhanced. So my third reflection is the way Nityananda Prabhu, the way Swarup Damodar Goswami, the way all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they behaved in several instances, keeping in mind about Mahaprabhu's moods, keeping in mind about Mahaprabhu's mellow essence that he's going to get into. They were always very, articulative. They are very particular in conducting themselves and caring for the Lord's needs, caring for the Lord's mood. So that is why Krishna is very kind to Vrindavan Vasis more than he is kind to anyone else. Because in Vrindavan, people care for Krishna. People worry about Krishna. People think for Krishna's welfare, even though the welfare word comes from Krishna. In the pastime of Krishna's mud eating pastime, There's a very interesting narration that is given. When Krishna ate mud and Mother Yashoda was told about it and she's asking Krishna to open the mouth. When Krishna is opening the mouth, Mother Yashoda is witnessing so many wonderful things all over the, about all the world, the entire universe. She's seeing so many things. And from the position of a mother, she's now going to be awestruck and she's already, getting onto the mood of surrender and starting to slowly, going to pray by folding both of her hands. And Krishna is looking at that. As soon as Krishna started to see Mother Yashoda's mood is switching from being a mother to being a devotee or a surrendered soul, Krishna got so frightened. He immediately, disturbed the scene and collapsed it and closed it. Because he didn't want Mother Yashoda to worship him. He didn't want Mother Yashoda to glorify him. He didn't want Mother Yashoda to surrender to him. He didn't want Mother Yashoda to do anything that will disturb the mood of she being her mother. To scold, to control, to challenge, to care for, to be attentive to his needs. That is Krishna. So the point is that when we are caring for Krishna, when we are caring for Krishna's preaching, when we are caring for Krishna's devotees, when we are caring for Krishna's feelings, what would Krishna want? Then Krishna would naturally start extending himself to us. I'll end this with a small note, which Rasaraj Prabhu once mentioned. That if you care for Krishna and Krishna's needs, even though you may be qualified, may not be qualified, we don't need qualifications to have the feeling of caring for Krishna and Krishna's needs. If you still just care for him, then Krishna in turn makes sure all the necessary quotients are provided to us so that we are cared. So hence my third point is about, in this small exchanges of activities between Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, whether it is about feeding prasadam or it is about Sankirtan, dancing, meticulousness and putting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to rest, we see only love and there is no hypocrisy, there is no formality, there is no duty. So in our Krishna consciousness, you need to go past hypocrisy, you need to go past duty, you need to go past formality and finally get to the stage of loving sentiment. In Nectar of Devotion, chapter 14, first paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes, knowledge and renunciation may help a person to raise up in his consciousness to come to a particular level. But after a point in time in our devotion, knowledge and renunciation happens to be an obstacle. What will help us go closer to Krishna is sincerity and sentiment. So I would like to end this session by summarizing those three reflections that we had. Reflection number one, how Sankirtan is the essence of Krishna consciousness process. Because by Sankirtan, we can relinquish our ego, we can relinquish our bodily consciousness, we can go past all the external quotient whilst we are in the Sankirtan at least. And whilst continuously doing that in our life, we will be able to eventually get them as an eternal quotient. The second reflection that we had is about the aspect of presentation and representation. So as a preaching mission, we need to better understand the essence and hence present and represent very nicely so that we can win more and more souls to this Sankirtan mission. And last but not least is that in the process of we caring for Krishna, caring for Krishna's needs, caring for Krishna's devotees and their needs, we will be cared for and we will be personally protected by the Lord. So with this, I would like to end and wish you all a very wonderful years ahead in the Sankirtan mission, because we should not by any chance bring in any aspect which can harm our journey in Sankirtan mission, because this is one of the rarest opportunity that we are blessed with. So let's buckle up. Let's try to, be committed to be part of this Sankirtan mission. Shri Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan Mahajagna ki jai. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for such a wonderful session and for sharing so wonderful realizations. Last point, I really like that how we should be anxious. Anxiety, spiritual anxiety will bring us and will keep us in Krishna consciousness. That is very, very important. And regarding your first, you said that, dancing in Sankirtan to remove all our so-called questions that we are carrying, on ourselves. But I've seen like devotees, those who even dance, sometimes they do dance to show off. So how to understand that? Because it's not only of giving classes or doing any other service, but sometimes even dancing can bring that pride.
Yeah. I would like to remember one small song by one Alvar. There was an Alvar, I forgot the name of the Alvar, from Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. The Alvar used to say, Poyen, Poyen endru solli meyyen agi vandene. In Tamil, poi means jute, telling lie. So this Alvar was actually in a very humble state of mind. He was telling that I have been telling a lie. I have been telling a lie that I am a devotee. Whilst I'm not a devotee, I have been telling a lie or posing myself a devotee. But the fact of life is, one fine day, I became a devotee. So I was one day sitting in the Panchatattva hall in Mayapur. And that day evening, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was singing the Kirtan. So, to be very honest, I can confess that right from the beginning days of my Krishna consciousness, since I started my Krishna conscious journey, because I used to sing in the Kirtans in our congregation back in Srirangam, whenever we used to have programs, the devotees used to encourage and give me the service of leading the Kirtan. And that continued even after coming to Mumbai. So somewhere or other, I was got so habituated, because when you lead the Kirtan, you more like focus on singing and make sure that you sing properly so that others are able to participate in the Sankirtan. So you never get to dance. So I'm a very poor, person with respect to participate in the Kirtan and dance. Now, I'm not trying to give an excuse that I do not want to, but at the same time, somewhere or other, I've been reflecting, when I was reflecting about this particular point, I said that how much quotient I would be having that I'm not wanting to dance. I have so much hesitation. So I was in the Kirtan, and Radhanath Maharaj started to sing his famous tune, Hare Krishna. So he started, first 3 minutes, everybody sitting in the hall, started to, go out apart from the person who were playing Mridanga and Kartal next to him. And probably I was maybe one of the few members who did not get up. Incidentally, I was sitting next to, very close to Maharaj, that he could even see that I'm sitting. And the reason I was not getting up is not, maybe I have definitely several quotients within me, but then I was also enjoying the moment of, Maharaj singing. But then within 2 minutes, Maharaj, looked at me and said, get up and go and dance. Get up. He pushed me. This not only happened once, several times, in several occasions, several devotees have done this to me. I am definitely not supporting somebody who is dancing fakely. I am not supporting several, people who are singing even for the sake of singing the song as a tune. But all that I want to say is, even apparently, if they keep doing that, unless they consciously, want to do that to show off, they may take some time to get whatever blessings that they would otherwise get from Sankirtan mission. But otherwise, Sankirtan mission will purify them. So my personal experience is, when Maharaj pushed me into the Kirtan, believe me, that night I danced like a crazy guy. And I started crying as I was dancing. And Chandramouli Maharaj danced, and Jananivas Prabhu danced, Pankajaki Prabhu came in. I mean, once we were in the dancing, then it's like, of course, there were senior, junior, and so many other protocols are there. But some moments are so much so that you are pushed and be with them in the crowd. So you feel some transcendental, vibes. Same thing happened once in Chennai Rath Yatra, when people pushed me in. When Jayapataka Maharaj, because usually Jayapataka Maharaj, when he's in the Rath Yatra, he stays on the Rath cart. After some point in time, he comes down to dance with everyone. Oh my God, those were all so amazing moments. So the point I was trying to say is that yes, those who are showing off, for sure, it's not a very appreciative things, but at least to damn show off, they are dancing into the Lord. So the Lord will take the best part of it and give him credit for that. And I'm sure at some point in time, he will peel off the unwanted quotient. So even though we may be apparently or monotonously or externally be doing certain things, that is the beginning of our sadhana bhakti, because I do not wish to get up for Mangalarati, but I'm getting up because somebody is forcing me. This will slowly change, and at some point in time, we will become sincere. I'll end with a small story by a devotee by name Haridas Prabhu in Radha Rasa Bihari temple in Juhu. He always tells this. He said that I was in the jail. My mother was a devotee. My mother always wanted me to be a devotee, but I was always a notorious fellow. One day I was in a jail. My mother came and gave me Back to God magazine, so that at least sitting in the jail, I will read some magazines to learn some good things. But then instead of studying the magazine, I looked at a Rolex watch that Srila Prabhupada wore. I got so much captivated by the Rolex watch. In those days, in 1970s, it's pretty expensive one. So I thought, after I get out of the jail, I should go to this person and somehow steal this watch. That will solve, for several months, my financial trouble. And I came out of the jail, and I straight away went to Radha Rasa Bihari temple, and posing myself as a son of this lady, and I surrendered to Srila Prabhupada and said, can I, serve here or stay around, hang around here? And by me staying with them for a couple of days, couple of, association, somewhere I felt guilty. I went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, I'm so sorry. I want to confess now. Actually, I didn't come here to learn Krishna consciousness. I came here to steal your watch. But I'm so sorry that I feel guilty about it, because you guys are very good. You know what? Srila Prabhupada removed his watch and gave him. So the point I was trying to say is, most of us come to Krishna consciousness because of some notorious, some funny, quotient. But Krishna is so kind. He would peel off those funny things and give credit to those good things. And that's our hope. I'm not justifying those who are fakely dancing, fakely singing. I'm also getting sometimes, upset or irritated with that. But sometimes when I look at myself, how much fakeness I have. I may not fakely dance, but I may fakely pose off myself as a devotee in several situations. So somewhere the hope is that the process will eliminate those fakeness and purify us. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Of course, Prabhu, definitely. Thank you so much for this wonderful session with wonderful answer, and especially the story. I can admit to it that we all have some funny quotient with us, because of which we came to Krishna consciousness, and then we were dragged by Krishna and Prabhupada's mercy. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Prabhu, do you have time to take more questions? Or
Sure, no problem.
Okay, Radhika Devidasi, you have raised your hand. Kindly go ahead.
Sorry, it's by mistake.
Oh, okay, no worries. Anyone else want to say something, add something? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, can you please sing Nitai Gaura Pada Kamala? आगे नहीं आता है, पर वो आज जी अमित प्रभु ने गाया था लास्ट निताई पद कमलम क्लास में. Prabhuji, please sing. We know that you are so tired, but give 2 minutes.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I can sing that song as it is supposed to be sung. So, but I'll definitely try. If there is anybody has any questions before we switch to singing that song.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just about repetition. I think your second point was, or second reflection was about the way we should present Krishna consciousness to others. But if you don't mind repeating briefly your first and third reflections.
My first reflection was about how Srila Prabhupada said that the essence of our Krishna consciousness is Sankirtan. By we performing Sankirtan, like how the essence of our spiritual life is to relinquish our ego, envy, pride, illusion, all the quotients within ourselves. So what I was trying to say is that I was relating to an episode that happened in Hyderabad, a place in India, where Srila Prabhupada said when he saw the Sri Vaishnava sadhus, they were dancing, Srila Prabhupada said, this is the essence. So I was just picking up from the point where the current text that we were reading is about the Sankirtan and how that Sankirtan is the essence. And the way it is an essence is because it peels off all the layers of attachment and affinity in ego, envy, pride, illusion of us, and eventually make us realize, feel, experience the transcendental mellow of Krishna consciousness. That was my first point. My third point is about...
1 second, Prabhu. So in your first reflection, when you use the word Sankirtan, it seemed like you were focusing on the singing and the dancing as ways that the 6, let's say, anarthas are peeled off. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yes, that's what I'm saying, because Mahaprabhu's mission was to make us do that. In fact, there is a very wonderful description in Chaitanya Charitamrita elsewhere, where Mahaprabhu even used to have a counting bead on his dhoti, that device he was used to sing and dance. He would even do the counting. So basically it is part of the Yuga Dharma. So Yuga Dharma is to, congregational chanting, Sankirtan. So of course, we are not comparing and debating between importance of Bhagavatam, deity worship, Japa. We are not debating on that. The point is, Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma. And we are all supposed to culminate in the Sankirtan. That's the essence of Krishna consciousness.
Okay, so can you comment on the fact that, as you said, the singing and the dancing is the essence, I think, of Lord Chaitanya's movement. But today it seems we also use this word Sankirtan to refer to book distribution. So can you comment on that or bring that into this reflection here somehow?
Very nice. So Prabhupada used to, actually to be precise, used to call us Brihat Mridanga, because it means opening the Pandora's box and calling out people all over the world. So basically, when we are distributing books, we are calling out loud. It is very nicely explained that the reason this book distribution is a Sankirtan is because, as a matter of duty, because Prabhupada is trying to prepare us as Goswamis, as Brahmanas, as first-class men, the duty of a Brahmana is to is to give knowledge and is to beg. Is not supposed to be doing any other thing. So when we are calling out to people, come and take books, so we are actually doing Sankirtan in a manner wherein they can take advantage of Srila Prabhupada's purports they can take advantage of coming in contact, closer contact with this Shastric or the Divya Gyan, and they can come in contact with eventually the Harinam Sankirtan, which is described in Bhaktivedanta purports. So this, by one single act of distributing books, we are giving charity. We are also begging in the right mood. We are supposed to beg for, and also we are winning more and more souls to join the missionary, aspect of Krishna consciousness by giving them the transcendental knowledge. So Prabhupada gave equal importance or same importance to distribute books as singing in the streets of for Harinam Sankirtan, because the knowledge of the Lord is given away, given out. And this is also not that it is one time. Like when we do Harinam Sankirtan, the street is purified, people hear and then move on. But when people buy books, they get definitely purified by buying. But then when they go home, the whole family may get delivered, because they will read, somebody else in the family would read, and it's like a time bomb that several people who are coming in contact with that book will get transformed, which the purpose of Sankirtan is all about. So that is why book distribution is also called Brihat Mridanga Sankirtan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And then third reflection again?
The third reflection is about care. So like how Nityananda Prabhu was caring, concerned, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was caring and concerned that the devotees would be fatigued, so they need to be sent back to their quarters, take rest, eat nicely. They're very well taken care. So from that standpoint, caring is an integral part of our Vaishnava tradition. By we caring for others, we will be taken care. That's the message. We are nobody. We have no qualification to care for others. But just by developing the sentiment of caring for others, genuinely, we will be cared for. That's the message.
But I think you probably said this, but it's not that we should care for others with that motive, right? Of being taken care of ourselves.
Sure,
right?
I mean, that's sure. I mean, anyway, if you do that, then it's little, with the adulteration of Mishra Bhakti. But then the message is, even if you care, there is a very nice story in Padma Puran where a small rat in the DT room, by, mistake or by, for whatever reason, it kind of lit the lamp. The Lord thought that the rat is offering ghee lamp arati to me. They always say this during Damodar Leela pastime, and how offering ghee lamp is, very important. So the message is that somewhere Krishna removes all the other portions and give credit to certain small good portions. So for sure, we are not supposed to expect back that we will be cared for, but we are given that assurance by the process that we will be cared for. And even if somebody thinks like that, I will be cared for, so let me care for others, it is better than not caring at all.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, actually, when you were talking about the rat or the mouse, whatever, it reminded me of the Putana story, where...
Sure, yes.
Yeah. So those two stories, it shows that, Krishna is he's looking for any excuse to, give us, award us with progress on this path. He's just point. Looking for any excuse at all. He's looking.
That's the point.
That's his magnanimity. Yeah.
First class. Very nice. That's the point. Actually, I used to always say that Krishna has got a special glass wherein he cannot see our mistakes. He'll only see our good things. And he just waits for seeing those good things so that he can give credit and somehow or other get us closer to him.
It's so encouraging. Yeah. So encouraging. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Ma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Okay, so I will end with a song just to for Vrinda Mataji. Instead of Nitai Padakamala, I would sing a song called Nitai Guna Mani Amar. Probably you all would have not heard or not heard, I do not know. So this is also glorifying Nityananda Prabhu, and I can sing this song at least more presentable than Nitai Padakamala. Nitai Padakamala is also a beautiful song, but I may kind of irritate you all by my bass.
प्रभु जी कृपा तो कृपा होती है, कुछ भी चलेगा, हमें सुनना है नित्यानंदा नित्यानंदा.
Sure. This song is called Nitai Guna Mani Amar by Lochana Das Thakur from Chaitanya Mangala. Nitai Guna Mani Amar, Nitai Guna Mani Aniya Premere Vanya Basai Lovani Premer Vanya Loya Nitai Aila Gauda Deshe Dubila Bhaktagana Dinahina Base Dinahina Pati Tapa Marnahi Bache Brahmara Durlabha Prem Sabha Karajache Abhada Karuna Sindhu Nitai Katiya Mohan Ghare Ghare Bhule Prem Aniyar Ba Lochan Bole More Nitai Jebana Bajilo Janiya Suniya Se Atmagati Hoilo Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. My Lord Nityananda, the jewel of all virtues, my Nityananda, the jewel of all virtues, has brought the flood of ecstatic love of God that has drowned the entire world, bringing this overwhelming deluge of prema. When he returned to Bengal from Jagannath Puri on Lord Chaitanya's order, Nitai has inundated the assembly of devotees. The fallen non-devotees did not drown, however, but remained floating on that ecstatic ocean. Lord Nityananda freely offered this exalted prema, which is difficult for Lord Brahma to attain, even to the fallen and wretched souls who did not desire it. The ocean of mercy had formerly been sealed tight, but Nitai cut a channel in its boundary to allow the great flooding waves of nectarian prema to splash from house to house. Lochana Dasa says, whoever has not worshipped my Nitai or taken advantage of this excellent opportunity offered by him knowingly commits suicide. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful session, for this beautiful song. So we'll stop here. Kaumudiki Mataji, you want to take over? I think so, Mataji is on mute. Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpa tarubhascha kripasindu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Nityananda Ram ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Ram Girdhari Prabhu ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.